Hello and welcome back to the lab. Today on the bench is nothing. In the past, when the channel's hit milestones, I've made a significant investment in the channel. The last piece, actually, the second video just probably released. It's the 2281. I know I said I wanted to get some more Keithley power supplies, but it seemed kind of like cheating to just do another power supply video. So, for this video, and to acknowledge 600 subscribers. Thank you, everyone, for being here and continuing to return to the lab. And also thank you to all the Patreons who helped make this possible. Today, I will be turning the channel into a plumbing channel. This box is enormous, so let me get into it, and I will bring you guys back once I get the packing material out of the way. And this is what is in the box. Now, this is even pretty substantial in and of itself. I mean, this tube is probably 2.5 feet long from here to here. So this is a precursor to another video that's going to come. I've also ordered the real upgrade for the lab, but I also need this to use that. Not going to spoil what the surprise is, but I will say it is supposed to be here sometime in November, middle of November. So I got about 3 weeks on that before it's delivered. So I have an air compressor. It's a 200 PSI air compressor, and it's up in the garage. The lab is inside. I need air at the bench for what's coming in. Let me know in the comments below if you have an idea as to what that might be. The other thing is I want to get air on the bench anyway, because when I dry off parts, things like that, it's nice to have an air gun just to blow things around, blow off the alcohol and things like that. So getting a good source of clean compressed air down here will be beneficial without the upgrade, but it is also needed for the upgrade. Actually, I have to have more filtration than just this for what I'm planning. So this is going to go sit in the garage. I'm going to run a pipe down to the lab. Hopefully, if everything works, I can keep that at a pressure of 200 psi or 150 psi to get it down here. Then I'll split it off. I'll make the air tap that I need for the upgrade, and I'll make the air tap for the blowgun just to blow stuff around. That will require yet another 2-stage filter. So this is a 5-stage filter. We have water solids. We have a coalescing filter for 0.1 micron, desiccant dryer, and then another filter for desiccant dust. I'm going to put even more filtering inside, so this whole unit will be up in the garage. I have a feeling this is the desiccant box. So for air filtration, we have solids, oils, humidity, dust, more dust, and another 0.01 micron. This is metal. I was really hoping I got the metal unit because the plastic unit only goes to 150 psi. This goes to 250, so this will handle the full output of my compressor, which is great. I also have a regulator over here with a gauge, which is great. I have to assemble that, but I also need to figure out the air fittings because, yep, this is probably either 3/4 or 1/2 inch. Probably 3/4. This is a 1/4 inch air fitting, and this is what actually came off of the compressor. I want the least amount of restriction coming through here, and I may even put an accumulator bottle in my utility room just so I have a bottle of 200 psi down here, and I have the compressor up there. That might be overkill, but it's kind of what I'm known for. So I've also got a shut-off valve, 1/2 inch. Okay, so this is actually 1/2 inch. All right, so I need to, for the compressor, I'll need to get 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, and then I want to run the biggest pipes I can to bring it down here so I get as much flow as possible. I'm not using anything too high flow down here, but I also don't want to have a flow problem either. So I know nothing about this company, but this is one of the bigger tanks, and this was also the only one that I found that would go to 250 psi. So I am using it within its rated capacities, but that is what's going on. So I'll get this mounted. I'll take some pictures of it, and I won't bring the camera into the garage because the garage still needs some cleaning. But I'll bring some photos down of after this is installed, so you guys will be able to get an idea as to what it looks like. And I'll also have to figure out this mounting hardware. So we will get everything all set. Like I said, it'd be great if I can keep 200 psi out of this, but we'll see what we end up with. For now, I need to run some hose. Wow, so it's been a crazy 2 weeks, and it's still not quite done yet, but I have to get ready because some stuff's going to ship on the 12th, which is going to be part 2 of this video. So this will make a lot more sense when that comes in, so keep a lookout for that. I have a large-ish, this is a medium-sized compressor in the garage. It's a 200 psi compressor, and it's loud, it's noisy, it's big, moving it up and down the stairs, it's terrible working around it. It's an air compressor. It is what it is. So I wanted to leave that up and outside, but I wanted to get clean, good compressed air in the lab because what I have coming is sensitive to dust, water, hydrocarbons. It's a very sensitive device, so I need to get a clean source of compressed air in the lab. Well, that sent me down a rabbit hole. So what I've ended up coming up with is I've got the compressor, which I've had for a while, given what I'm asking it to do now, and especially some future plans of having a bead blasting cabinet. When it dies, I will end up with a bigger compressor. It's just going to have to happen. But the output of that is now directly, so the compressor can't move now. It's permanently air-lined in. I'll be moving some electric too. There's the power cord for the compressor goes over to the one outlet that I have in the garage of the facility. I need some more electric up there, especially if I want to get some bigger tools. 3-phase would be nice, but I don't have 3-phase here. We've got airline comes out, and it comes in to this manifold right here. Now that manifold has 2 tails on it that have quick connectors on it, so I can get unfiltered, undried air at full 200 psi at this connector if I need it for anything in the garage. That also allows me to keep from burning up the filters, having to change the media, things like that. So if I'm driving a nail gun, knocking together something, doing some sanding or whatever, I don't need all the filtration. Now, what I probably will do is on one of these connectors, if I use a lot more air tools in the facility upstairs, I will I'll add a line oiler to it, so I can have the tools oiled. Some of the stuff that I'm using definitely does not want an oiler, especially if you're going to do painting, running a spray gun. You don't want the oil; it'll ruin the finish of the paint. So I have a inlet. The outlet comes up here, and then there's 2 tails that I can do some more things with just straight compressor air, unfiltered. This first filter is a 1 micron, is it 1 or 3? I'll have to look. I think it's 1. It's a 1 micron oil dust dirt filter, so every once in a while I'll have to drain it. There's actually a sight glass on the chamber, so I can see if the filter needs to be drained. Now, I've maintained air systems for a while, so tank drains on the big air systems that I've had to work on, we drain the tanks daily. So we'd shut the compressor off, drain the tank, let it spew all the water out. This tank, if you don't do that, the inside of the tank will rust, and eventually the tank will rupture over time. Compressors, especially where in my area of the world, where we get some decent rains and it's fairly humid, they suck up a lot of water. Like one of the ones that we drained weekly, or one of the traps that we drained weekly on one of the compressors, it would do like 6 or 7 cups of water just from the one filter. I mean, it was a big filter, but it just kept coming out. So it's incredible how much water these things actually will remove. So that's the first stage. The second stage is a 0.01 micron water oil collating filter. So we have general filtration here. We have high filtration here. There's an indicator on top of the filter for when this needs to be changed. This one just gets serviced regularly. So the airflow is actually this direction on this one. So we have general purpose filtration, collating filtration, and then this is a 10-pound desiccant dryer. So in this canister, there's 10 pounds of those desiccant beads that are pulling all the water out. Their marketing material claims it drops the dew point to negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. So pulls a lot of moisture out of the air. But so the desiccant doesn't have to absorb everything from the compressor. You have first water trap, second water trap, water vapor removal. This one is another one of these. It's a general purpose, and it's going after dust. So coming out of that, we have another isolation valve. So I got an isolation valve here and an isolation valve here. So I can turn the whole system off if I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff outside with compressed air. I can turn the whole system off and not even charge these filters and just run off the tank. Or I could open up the filters if I don't want to charge the lab, because this one sends it down to the lab. But I also can get, for like running a paint sprayer or something like that, I can get cleaned, filtered, dried, dust filtered again air at this three-way junction. There's 2 more tails coming off to allow me to use this filter setup for stuff in the garage as well. Now I have this regulated here. This is also a regulator, so I can control the pressure. Right now, since I'm not doing anything special, I have it regulating to 150 psi. So we have 200 on the input. I have 150 on the output. This tap right here punches through the wall, comes in through the ceiling, and then this one actually comes into this filter setup. This is the other end of that line right here. And it comes in. This is a Ingersoll Rand general purpose filter, high efficiency filter. So this is again more dust filtration. I didn't necessarily trust this one, and because the manufacturer of this system was like, oh yeah, the desiccant can dust off, and as I was pouring it in there, it was dusting off. So they're not kidding about that. So didn't want to just trust this one. So we have a non-regulating Ingersoll Rand general purpose filter. We have a high efficiency filter, and then I have a regulator back by one of the labs. So this is this is some of the soundproofing to make the room quiet for where I'm recording. And then this is another regulator filter. Because of this filter and these 2 filters, I don't think I'm going to see much in this regulator. I shouldn't see much in this trap. So this should almost never need to be emptied, because it should never collect anything. Everything should be collected in these 2 or pre this. So at the air at this point, we still may have some water vapor. We still may have some hydrocarbon vapor. We still may have some vapors in the compressed air, but it shouldn't be too terrible. I'm still waiting on one piece. This isn't what's shipping in on the 12th, but I should have this middle of next week. I'm going to put a F. I have another one of these filters coming. It's the exact same thing, looks exactly the same, but it's an F filter, which is activated, or no, it's an A. Yeah, it's GHA. The A filter is activated charcoal, so that'll remove the rest of the vapors that I don't want in the compressed air and things like that. And I'm actually gonna add that right here, so I don't burn up the activated charcoal filter when I'm using this tap, which is which is just another quick connect for if I need to do anything by the drill press. This is actually the side of the drill press in the lab. And then also my server lab is right next to there. So it's this is actually right next to the server rack. I have a 19-inch rack with a bunch of IT stuff in it. If anybody's interested in that, let me know. I can do a video on it. And this gives me a quick connect where I can put an air gun in there and dust off all the computers and get everything else there cleaned up and keep them cool and well serviced and not burning up. This line, so there'll be another one of these cans here, which will be activated charcoal, and then that will come out here, and that stubs through the wall and goes to the bench. The other end of that hose fits in right here into a small, the system is all, actually so tube size on the system is, this is all 1/2 inch, and then all the green line is 3/8 inch tubing. So this is a little overkill because it's got a 3/8 inch feed, then to step it up to 1/2 inch without an accumulator bottle. But that's what they had in stock, and it wasn't, these are actually decently high flow rate filters. They'll sustain 22 cubic feet a minute. For what I'm needing on the bench, I do not need that flow rate. I need 2.5 liters per minute max. So which is 0.9 sustained cubic feet. So these will do 22. So and the charcoal one is 1/2 inch as well. This drops down to 3/8. So what we have here is another pressure regulator right at the bench, so I can adjust the pressure coming into the system, because I want the pressure as high as I can get it here, unless I'm using the air further back towards the compressor where I can dial it back. I want to have as much pressure here as I need, because I need 100 psi here for what's coming in. This is another quick connect. This is actually the quick connects I was talking about. This is the tail. So goes through a regulator. This is just a regulator with a filter, just to give it one more filter stage. This will not see anything ever, probably, having gone through all the rest of the filtration of the compressed air. This should never need to be drained, ever. If anything's coming in through here, I have problems that way in the system. This is just a T-fitting where it comes down to this tail for the quick connect, and then right here is going to transition into this 10-bar tube, and this 10-bar tube is what's actually going to plumb the bench itself. So for the blowgun, for the duster and everything on the bench, I'm going to run off this T-fitting, and I can adjust the pressure here, but I need 100 psi here, but I can also turn off the bench, what's post this. Yeah, I can turn off what's post this connection with that valve there, so I can isolate the bench but still have the quick connect on. If I ever need to do any facilities maintenance down here, I can even run a nail gun off of this. There's enough flow rate and everything like that. I can run air tools off down here by the bench if I need some serious horsepower. Haven't really needed that yet. The air gun's going to be nice, like I said, for cleaning stuff up and drying stuff out, but other than that, that'll be fine. We have some 10-bar hose. 10-bar hose is 150 psi. Sorry, and then I got a whole bunch of connectors and fittings. One of these connectors is here, so the hose will just press fit into here. And this is a 6mm OD hose, and that will match what the device that's coming in on the 12th is, or shipping on the 12th. So when that comes in, I will finish up. We'll finish up the 600 subscriber video. But that's what I've put together so far. I have been through 2.5 rolls of Teflon tape and a whole bunch of brass fittings. So many brass fittings. But it's getting close to done. I need to do a better mounting solution on here. I only have the one bracket. I didn't see any Ingersoll Rand brackets, so I'm thinking about building in a shelf and having it just sit on the hose. If anybody knows of air brackets that'll make this mounting better. I don't like the way this is done, but it's up and functional. But I want this to be better. This backer board is what I put up because this is for mounting these filters. So I've got plenty of wood I can put some screws in and get those mounted up. I don't like this, but it's what I got at the moment. This isn't bad. And these brackets are a little strange, but they're the ones that came with it. It's holding okay. A block behind the can wouldn't be bad. It wobbles a little bit when you're cranking on this. I did need a strap wrench to actually crank this down and get this tight. The system isn't 100% airtight anymore. The compressor won't hold air for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. But it doesn't kick on maybe once a day to charge the system. So it's not losing too much air, but there's also now a lot of connections and joints and things like that that weren't there before. So I will be back once the shipping comes through, and we'll continue on from here to what's actually going to be on the bench. So some cool stuff I'm experimenting with. I don't know if it's going to be worthwhile or not, but we'll find out. I'll run the experiments. So thanks for stopping by, taking a quick look at the air system that we've added to the facility, and I will see you guys in the next video.